Hello, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Kara Goodwin, and I'm the host of the Meditation Conversation podcast, which is changing to the Soul Elevation podcast. So, today I want to talk about energy and specifically sound frequency, because just to give you a little bit of how this relates to me personally. Over the weekend, we just had a little drama in our house. Um, and I could feel this buildup of energy with particularly, there was one particular person in my house who was affected by this, and it was really affecting them. And it was kind of dragging them down, and they were not wanting to really even go out. They were really dwelling on this issue. And so finally they left the house. And when they left, I was like, okay, I need to clear the energy of the house, because while this drama had been going on, and this person had been dwelling in the worry and the anger and all of those kind of lower, harder things to deal with, those energies and frequencies that are difficult for us. It had kind of been building up energetically in the house, and then we all kind of start picking up on those strong feelings and emotions because they're energy and we're energy. So this is a little bit more of an advanced topic. Um, but just do your best. And if you're brand new to energy, this just take what resonates with you, what you understand, and maybe some little seeds will be planted. And if you're more familiar with energy and sound and how energy affects matter and so forth, then I think that this should make sense for you. But I want to talk about cymatics, because when this person finally did leave the house yesterday, I utilized sound to work with the energy of the house, uh, you know, um, the rooms and all of that. So there are a lot of ways that we can work with energy, and we can clear spaces. A very popular one is using incense or smudging. So using like smoke to clear out, using intention with the smoke. Um, but sound is a really effective way as well. And so before I talk about exactly what I did, I want to talk about cymatics, because what I love about cymatics is it's a way for us to see with our eyes how sound is affecting energy, because it can be difficult for us when we hear sound. And it's kind of like, yeah, but how might that affect a physical space? How might that affect us in our healing, in our emotions, in our thoughts? And cymatics is it's taking sound and being able to represent it visually. And this happens naturally, but it takes some equipment. Now, I have found some um, interesting things online. Nigel Stanford has done an amazing, incredible video that I'm going to link to this once I'm finished recording. I'll put the link for Nigel's video in there. I highly recommend you check this out, because it's a great way to connect the visual and be able to see how sound is affecting us. So seeing how sound sound and light, when we are looking at things, when we're seeing things, that's light. We may think of light just as like what comes out of the sun or what comes out of light bulbs, but everything that you're seeing is light being reflected off of things. So really everything is light. So it's like, so how sound affects light. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is me on on YouTube. And I want to go to this this is, so I mentioned this video by Nigel Stanford, and this is a clip. This is like a behind the scenes clip of the video that I'm going to link in the recording that I highly recommend that you check out. But here he's going to talk about cymatics and how this works.
Video is called a cladding plate. A cladding plate is basically a metal plate attached to the top of the speaker. There's sand on top of the plate, and you play different tones through the speaker. The plate vibrates, which forms different shapes depending on the frequency of the sound.
Okay, so what I wanted, what that shows is that sound, is, so they're playing a frequency through a wire that's attached to that plate. And depending on the frequency that comes through, there's sand on top of that plate. And the sand automatically organizes based on the cymatics, based on the sound frequency. And when you change the frequency, the sand reorganizes. So this is how things are working energetically. This is a great representation. You can go on YouTube and look up cymatics, CYMATICS, and find different representations where people are taking different frequencies and then getting a visual representation. So if we take that further and understand that people have done a lot of work to figure out the patterns that go with different frequencies, then I want us to talk about this gift that I got a few months ago. And this is a cymatic bracelet. So I'm going to put this, it's hard to see because it's a little bit, I know it's a little bit blurry here. Let me see if I back up. Can it focus? So I think that this frequency, I know it's kind of hard. It's a little bit blurry, but this is a plate, a lightweight plate that has been imprinted with the frequency of 963, which is a very high frequency. And so this company, I'm going to share my screen again so that you can see the company here because it's on Etsy. They're called Heliquonics. Okay, so there's and I'll put this link in the notes too, but there is a company on Etsy called Heliquonics, and they imprint the cymatic patterns into these discs. And then you can buy a bracelet, or they have other medallions. You can have them as a necklace and so on, that have that visual representation of the frequency, right? So this is imprinted with the visual frequency that the sound makes. So if you were to have the plate, like what we were looking at before with Nigel's video, and put sand on it, and you used this frequency of 963, this is the pattern that the sand would form. And so this company takes that visual representation, imprints it on this disc, and then I'm wearing that on my wrist, and my skin cells are getting that coding. They're getting that information. They're getting that it's intelligence, right? It's my skin cells are interacting with the pattern of 963 while I wear this. So energy is this one thing that's moving through everything. And we, as energy, even though we have matter, we are energy. Fundamentally, we are energy. That's our foundation. And then we have these denser physical bodies, but we can't get around the fact that we are energy. So we resonate with these frequencies. So let's go back to my story how I started all of this. So the person in my home that was going through a difficult time, and they finally left the house, and I wanted to use sound to uplift the space. So I have this love tuner. I had the inventor of the love tuner on. I'll put a link to that episode. His name's Sigmar Berg, but I'll put a link to that episode in the notes here so you can listen to what he talks about, because this is a whistle, but it is tuned to the 528 frequency, and that is the frequency of love. Okay, so the frequency of love, when it is when we get down to the actual frequency of it, it's 528. Now every frequency has an associated sound, it's got an associated pattern. So utilizing this, which has been tuned specifically to 528, you are putting that frequency into any place where it can be, wherever you are, basically, wherever it's used. So I'm going to use this really quickly here just to show you how it works, but I'm on Zoom. And so sometimes Zoom like doesn't allow the sound to come through. Let me see what happens. I'm gonna check my audio settings really quickly because I might be able to put something on. Okay, live performance audio. Let's try this to see if it'll come through. I'm not sure if that was coming through before. Okay, so what is happening with this is that as I am blowing into this, the 528 frequency is infusing the space. So actually there are two purposes to this love tuner, which you can wear as a necklace or a bracelet. So you can have it with you whenever you want. But one, it works with the breath. So in order to utilize it, I have to use my breath, which is a topic for a different time, but you may already know how powerful the breath is in helping us to shift into the parasympathetic nervous system so that we're in a rest and restore, we're getting out of fight or flight. So that's a huge benefit. But what I'm talking about here is the emission of a 528 frequency, the love frequency. So I went all through my house and just used this for a few minutes, and it was so funny to see my cat respond because I guess I hadn't used it for a couple of weeks or something, but I don't remember my cats ever responding to it. My cat jumped up on the couch. I was standing behind the couch blowing into this thing, and my cat jumped up and she was like, meow, meow, and she's rubbing all against me, and it was hilarious. Like, she wanted so much love and attention. So she really responded to this. But if you can imagine, going back to the cymatics, if you can imagine that 528 has a pattern, and energy and the ether organizes itself into patterns. And so through that, there is this coherent, harmonizing, vibrational pattern of love that is filling up the space. And so that just helps to reconfigure the space, because when we had all that discordant energy of anger and frustration and despair that had been the dominant vibration, that's a disharmonizing, discordant, disorganized energy. You know, it's not structured with that divine structure, that coherence, that harmony that these higher vibrations have. If you want to know more about that, Dr. Emoto's work is brilliant for that, where he takes water and freezes it. And then you can see the difference between coherent, high frequency, loving energy and thoughts and words and lower, disharmonic, um, negative language and intention, because what happens is you get these beautiful crystallized snowflake patterns with the higher frequency water, the water that's been infused with higher frequency intention and love. But with the water that was intended with lower negative thoughts and intentions, there's no organization. It's this disharmonic jumble of dark patterning. Like there is no patterning. It's chaos under a microscope. So it's very different. Again, visual representation. This is cymatics and Dr. Emoto's work. These are the ways that we're able to use our visual sense to be able to understand and grasp these energetic concepts more easily. So anyway, I'm going to put a lot of links in here so that you can do more exploration on your own, and you've got a lot of resources. I am going to put my affiliate link for this Love Tuner, because when I had Sigmar on, I signed up to be an affiliate, because I think this is a really important tool, a really important opportunity, and it's so easy. It's really accessible. And then I'm also going to put the link to that Etsy shop. I don't have an affiliate link to it, but it's the holiday season. So these are the types of things that you may want to put on your Christmas list or your gift list, or they might be great ideas for people in your life who are interested in things like this. So I received this as a gift, my bracelet, and I had no idea what it was. I mean, I knew about cymatics, but I'd never heard of this concept. And it was such an amazing surprise when I got it. I was like, this is genius. So thoughtful. And I love wearing it. So I hope that all makes sense. If you have any questions, please do reach out and I'll try to help. And I hope you have an amazing start to your week. Many blessings.